I want to tell you, a campaign to recall Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler seems to be going down in flames, which isn't really surprising at all. I mean, the guy was just reelected like 10 months ago. The city kind of spoke up about what they wanted then. He won with, 46% of the vote, became the first Portland mayor to be reelected in 2 decades. But the organizers of this campaign to recall Mayor Wheeler, they still were confident they could get it done. They were so sure when we talked to them back in July when they first started gathering signatures.
If you look at the number, Wheeler did not win by the popular vote. So while this seems like a really big number, he wasn't even elected to office by the popular vote. So a majority of Portland already disagreed with him being elected.
Yeah, that's one way to do the math. They spent the summer gathering signatures to get the recall on the ballot, but it wasn't enough. They were, behind from the very beginning. They weren't hitting any of their benchmarks when it came to these signatures. According to the Oregonian, they got a little more than 19,000 signatures altogether. They needed 48,000. They didn't even get half. The deadline was today. They tried to get the deadline extended, claiming that the pandemic and the heat this summer made it harder for them to gather the signatures that they needed, but they were shot down by the city auditor's office. They're like, no, that's not going to work out. Now they do have one last-ditch effort, though. They're throwing a little Hail Mary. They're taking it to court. They're going to sue to get their deadline extended, claiming that the 90-day window to gather signatures is unconstitutionally short. Well, we'll let you know how it turns out. Now, Ted Wheeler hasn't exactly been the most popular mayor. I think we all understand that. He's been attacked at restaurants. Protesters have camped outside of his condo building. He's often widely criticized for decisions that he makes and for decisions that he doesn't make, like when he urged violent extremist protesters to choose love rather than brawl in the street and shoot at each other. People, they thought that was kind of silly. And then when he told police to hold off from responding from the fights that we did see between those groups, people thought that was a bad idea. When he announced that the city wasn't going to do business with Texas over their new abortion law before there was actually a plan in place to even do that, people were like, what are you doing? And he's been the head of the city through the pandemic and the protests and the widespread vandalism and the shootings and an ongoing homeless crisis that no one seems to be able to ever solve. You get the point. Businesses have been shut down left and right because of all of those problems, and people are complaining about the police, and the police are complaining about the city leaders. I'm out of breath. I mean, that's the life of Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler. So, okay. Now, there's a lot going on, and it's understandable that people would think that there should be a change. But recalling the mayor was always going to be a long shot. Nearly every Portland mayor in recent history has faced a recall threat, but only 2 of those have ever even made it to a ballot, and neither of those ever succeeded. And if Wheeler had been recalled, there's no deputy mayor. There's no vice mayor or assistant mayor, anyone really waiting in the wings to step up and take that job. His position would become vacant, and we'd have to wait until there was another special election after the recall election just to get a replacement in that seat. And that brings us